Hello, Chuck here, back in Planetbase. Kind of picking up where we left off, but I did a couple things off camera before I started up. um, I noticed this probably due to the suggestion of someone who commented on yesterday's video, and he brought up something which I completely overlooked, and that was sleeping space. And you might have noticed we had people like taking a snooze just in weird spots. And I thought, wait a minute, we hadn't really put more beds in quite a while. So, right before I started recording, well, let's remove the tops off so we can see what we're looking at. I went ahead and built one of those little nicer dorms down here that you can put, nicer beds in. Now, these don't give you as many beds as well, that's the cabin, which gives you the nicer beds. And so let's check out the trading ship, and then so I built that, but now we're trying to get the money up. We've got this amount, which you can see we get these. We can go ahead and buy another one of these patents, and we're going to buy that one with this money. Because this guy's commission isn't as bad as some of the other traders. Okay, trade for that now. Super extractor. We can build that when we get enough metal to build it. So what I did was I put this cabin and I put these beds in there, and now I built this dorm down here, which we're going to put some beds in there. And these are bunks. Now I start right at the entrance so you can fit as many as you possibly can fit. Cram them close together and get as many as we can put in here. Okay, I don't know if we can get another one or not. No, okay, that's all we got. And the reason is, and you thought I would have known this from playing this game before. One of the things that affects people's happiness and well-being is, obviously there's food and oxygen, but having enough places to sleep. As you can see, they have plumb filled all these beds in here. Now this cabin, these are supposed to be nicer beds than the bunks. So I thought, let me build one and see if it makes any difference. And so I have another one pending here, just needing materials to build. Now, we got all these new bunks going in down here, so let's check. I've got to watch, because if our well-being goes up, we're going to start attracting people again, and then we have to make sure. So our status went from very poor to poor, and prestige went up a little bit. So that's heading in the right direction. We have to be on top of things now, because when colonist ships start landing and they start, giving us more people, well, we're going to have to get ahead of things, as far as oxygen generation and, of course, power. Because more people means, more buildings, and we're going to need more power to power those buildings. But let's we want a robot, and I think we want at least some more metal. It seems like we never can get enough metal because we're constantly making spares. Now we're just going to see how much stuff we can sell. I don't think we're going to get there unless we throw the money in. Let's throw the money in. Currently have food surpluses so we can sell off some food. Okay, we're gonna get some metal and a robot. I think in my previous playthroughs, when we got more robots, that really helped the well-being and people's happiness because it kind of, cut down the workload a little bit. So I don't know when this thing's going to get built. I'm going to have to put it on a priority. And let's check our power equipment is all in good order right now. With that said, let's take a look at the grid. All right, right now that looks good. Those numbers look good, but we know how that can turn really fast. And we also, we got this, was it the big collector that we got or the extractor that we got that big, so we're probably going to want more water extraction going on. And we need to get, as soon as we get everything else built, I think we need to start producing robots again. Which means we're going to need to make semiconductors. Let's see if we have a... This is nothing but spares workshops down here. So... Arms workshop, semiconductor foundry. We need that. Because to produce robots, you need semiconductors. I mean, we could just buy robots every time a trader lands, but it might get a little expensive. So what we're hoping, we obviously, the power grid is able to handle the number of buildings we have. Now, let's, well, obviously we don't have 300 in money for that, and we're not going to trade metal. So let's see, do we want to buy another bot or two or try to get some money or both? I'd say let's get another bot. And okay, let's build up our bots, which will help our productivity, I think, because we'll get them carrying stuff around and free up people for doing more work. And then we have to get, let's check things out. We are going to need another factory. As soon as we get this thing built, whenever they get around to building that. Wait a minute. I don't know. if people can get in here to build that. Because look, um, yeah, there's no. I just realized that we can't get in there to build that cabin because nothing's connected. So I would need like an airlock to be able to get people in here to build that. Now, that was rather dumb on my part. So I don't think I can put another airlock in the middle here. Well. Yeah, I don't think people can get in here to build that. So, that was kind of silly. The reason I put it in there was I was hoping to use this space for something. But I don't think I can put anything in here because people can't get in here to do the construction. Like I could put something there because there's a gap here. People get around and get through there. So let's see. I don't know. Yeah, I can't fit one in there. Now these dorms are dead-end buildings, which kind of stinks because you can't connect anything to them. Now we got to watch our space for expanding because we put that cabin over here, and now that's got that filled. But I could put something over here because there's not so much. So I think I'm going to put a big dorm right there because there's no really room to expand much going that direction. All right. Another trading ship. They seem to be coming a little faster. And I'm going to keep buying metal. Okay. Well, those are going for 10 each. I could have bought... Well... Alright, looks like we're stockpiling enough food for now. I'm going to check the grid again. Power looks adequate at the moment. Let's, as long as we don't build too many more structures. We're going to need more oxygen and more water. Water is kind of tight. So, let's let this get built first. And then we're going to put down that big extractor, that big water extractor. So that thing is pending 2 pieces of metal. I've got 5 here. No, I got 4 now. Because every time we generate metal, it just goes immediately. It's going to produce spares. We've got 2 bots. I think they're both carrier bots. I don't know if we click on that if it'll tell us. No, it doesn't. So I go to stats. No, we're back down to very poor again. I'm really trying to figure this out. I think we're giving the people enough food. And we built more beds for them to sleep in. We're just going to keep increasing. So we have okay, this engineers, biologists, visitors, none. Okay, colonist 94. 18 are workers, 9 biologists, not 39 biologists, 18 engineers, 9 medics, and 10 armed guards. Well, bots we have 2 bots. Biodome low on oxygen, and we lost 5 colonists. And I'm wondering, we were showing enough oxygen production. So I'm wondering why that dropped off all of a sudden. Do we need to put another oxygen generator down? Well, let's get our beds built. Got plenty of bioplastic to fill this room full of beds. No, but we never got the, people died of asphyxiation message or anything like that. So it makes me wonder if people just kick the bucket over time, like old age or something. I don't recall that the last time I played this, but it doesn't mean anything. Alright, trading ship is here. We definitely, well, he's just got bots and semiconductors and money. We need all of that. I think I'm going to go for the money now. We spent all the money on other things. Those guns, you get a surplus. Those things sell for 80, which is kind of nice. And okay, we're gonna build up our cash again. But still, I'm having these, it's like we're in a little bit of a bottleneck here. Where we need to produce more metal, and yet, so the easiest way to do that would be to build more processors. But of course you can't build those without metal. So that's where we are right now. We need, here's one with 4 processing plants in it. I'm going to set that on priority. And this one has got semiconductor foundries already there, plus spares workshop. So we're going to put that on priority. And I kind of forgot I had built those. So here I was thinking I needed to build more processors, and here I had them. Just didn't have them set to high priority. All right, we're still doing fine on food. And so let's check the grid again. So yeah, oxygen is still adequate. Power is fluctuating a bit, but it's staying ahead of the game. Water is another thing we want to build soon. Run out of spares again. I'm getting kind of tired of seeing that message. So I hope that since we prioritized these workshops down here, that we're going to start seeing more metal and things like spares produced. Because if we want to grow the colony, we're going to have to add on. And that's going to, of course, tax the infrastructure. It's going to tax our power grid. And so like I need to put this extractor down. Go ahead and... So after that gets built, I'm going to add more power structures. Another collector and either another panel or a turbine. Now let's see what this guy has for us. Well, we try a couple bots. I don't have a lot of stuff to sell. The guy has money, but it would cost a lot to get that money too. So let's see if we can get another carrier bot. Let's see, I don't really want to part with... All right. I think if we gradually increase the number of bots, it's going to help us in the long run. Let's look at stats. Well, you know, we keep creeping up out of very poor to poor. So we just need to keep improving things. And we'll get there. We constantly... I'm getting kind of tired of seeing that message. We've run out of spares. There's still so many things that need to be repaired. A lot of it's food pads. Now we got 2 spares, so the maybe having these things with a higher priority is going to start paying off. And I hope the next game they do something with the sound design, vary things up a little bit, because I don't know how many times I think I hear a ship landing. I go check out and there's nothing there. Yeah, if you watch this up in the top right here, you can see the items appearing and then just disappearing right away. So every time we get a spare, it just disappears. And we have enough workshops for those, but now look here, we got some issues down here with some of the food pads needing repairs. We notice like a metal shows up, it disappears right away. So I don't know if they're taking them out to this construction, and they aren't. We're still pending 4 pieces of metal out there, and none of them been taken out there yet. And we have a trader. If we get... like, doesn't have any metal and very little money. I wonder how many he wants for that storage patent. A lot. We don't have that. I could probably take the ore. Unless I want to get another bot. 116 for another bot. Okay, I'm debating whether I think I can add anything to that, or just take the bot and that's it. I'd really like this ore. So let's see if I can buy all that. sell that extra gun again. Okay. So yeah, you can see we're stockpiling a lot of food. We still got a lot of stuff needing repairs. So that tells me every time we generate a spare, it's going to go right to fixing something. So the next trader that shows up with a lot of spares, we might want to trade for all of that. Now, power grid is still holding up. Been a while since we've had any issues with that. And we're just trying to build that really big extractor. Now I'm not sure how fast that's going to get built. We got 3 spares. Let's see how fast those disappear. Okay, we just bought some ore, so I was wondering why we'd have 9 ore up there. So hopefully we'll see these things down here start producing a little quicker. All right, that line is creeping up. I think we're going to keep that moving up, and we'll be getting more people coming in pretty soon. With that in mind, I'm going to make a save point here, just in case anything catastrophic happens. I can go back and reload, because that's sometimes what I do between shooting videos. Is I'll play for a few minutes just to see if everything's stable, and then if stuff starts going to hell in a handbasket, I'll go back, reload the save, see if there's anything I can do to fix it. So I've done that a couple times, and because sometimes in this game you can get into like a cycle of death, is what I like to call it, where things just constantly, you can't really get stabilized. We don't have enough money for that. I think I would like all that metal. I know that's a lot of cash. And we're going to see, you know, if maybe I will part with some of this money to get the metal, knowing that that's going to... All right, we still need a lot of money to get all that metal. And we got it. Now we'll see if we can put that to good use. Obviously, we're going to put some of it down here to get this thing built, this other water collector. Then we need to start generating more power and more oxygen. So going to put another collector down. That's going to need another 4 metal for that. And another O2 generator is going to need 2 metal. So let's do... I don't think, yeah, oxygen generators are not a dead-end building. So I don't think we can attach them to the power grid, though. That, well, I wanted to kind of put that out of the way. I guess we can put it over here. Yeah, right there, that'll work. Okay, now we've got all of our 11 metal in inventory. The water extractor has been built. And we're about to get another O2 generator. So when that goes up, then I'm coming down here and I'm going to put some more power grid items. I'm not sure whether to do we've got, let's count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 solar panels. And we got pretty much even up on solar panels and mines and turbines. So we're going to do another turbine. And then after that gets built, we're going to put another collector down. As I have a feeling a lot of our metal is going to go straight into producing spares. Well, let's see if these dudes, what are they bringing out here? They're bringing metal out here to start building this new turbine. All right. We're up to 4 bots now. You can see we've basically blown through all that metal that I just bought. And we're out of money. Don't know if we're going to be able to... Yeah, this guy's got more metal. And we don't have a lot of money for it. He's also got spares. And he's also got money. But I don't think... Buy 6 more metal. If we can afford that. Okay. At some point now, we need to start building the cash back up. And I need to get, you know... But if I can get enough items built that we can just kind of coast along for a while and let the metal production build up, then that's kind of a good spot to be. Or I might have to put more processors down. I mean, I should have enough mines to be pulling ore. Like, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mines. But yeah, we never see a surplus of ore. So that tells me every bit of ore we're getting is just going straight into metal, which is probably going into producing spares. Has been a while since we've seen that we're running low on spares message, though. But look at this. We got all these plant pods out here, and we got 5 spares. What happens if I put this building, if I prioritize work there, so they can get in here and fix these things? But because we're building up surpluses of food, I don't know how... I was going to say I don't know how important that is, but on the other hand, if all these things break down and none of them get fixed, then we're going to start literally eating into our food supply. And I don't really want that. Now we got the big turbine. So let's see how much metal we got left. We got 2 metal. We got 4 spares. Let's, obviously they're going to use those spares. Now, what are they bringing out here? Well, he's repairing stuff before it even gets that far gone. Okay, so I think we have gotten. Yeah, we're still our welfare keeps dropping, and I don't really understand why it would keep going down and then back up and then down and then back up. Now let's take all this money. Okay. So the only thing I think is we have enough food, we have enough oxygen, we have enough power, and do they have adequate places to sleep, or are they filling up all the beds, or do we need to think about more beds? I can't put anything there because these are both dead-end structures. Possibly could fit another one in here somewhere. And that is a no-go. So we're going to have to, if we want another dorm, it's going to have to attach here. And I think our next thing, obviously, let's check the grid again. So power production, we are plumb up. Our storages are full. So we're going to need another one of those. Collector. All right, let's get that built. Then probably going to think about meteor impact on the solar panel. All right, that's just wonderful. So we got spares workshops, 1 semiconductor, 2 semiconductor. All right, we should start getting some semiconductors built up. Just tell us how many we have. Down here we have 1. So all right, we need more bots. So we've got 4 carrier bots. I think I would like to maybe get some driller bots, because maybe the people would be happy if they didn't have to work in the mines. We could send the robots to the mines, which is, yeah, wherever you stand on that. But that's kind of like my attitude on AI. You know, everybody's got an opinion on proper use of AI these days, generative AI, and you know, people using it to create creative things. And I think my version of that is let the robots work in the mines, so, and free up people to do the creative and artistic ventures. And you know, like me, when I'm not doing this, I write. I've written a few novels, and I say the last thing I want to do is let a robot take over and do one of the few things that I'm actually halfway good at. And I'd rather let the robot do the menial stuff. Like, you know, AI is really good at crunching large amounts of data and stuff like that. So let's let them do that. Let's free up people to do the creative, the artistic, the fun stuff. So same thing here. We need to get some driller bots and get the bots working the mines so that people can paint and write and make art and do whatever else they do in here when they're not running around carrying all of our stuff around just to keep the colony running. Now, all of these items got repaired. Well, now there's a, well, all the ones down there did. Now there's still stuff here. And we have another trader, and we've got an extra gun, so I'm already going to sell that because they sell for 80. That's like pretty sweet. And we can get another carrier bot. So we'll take the carrier bot. And does this dude have any money? He's got like 60. So see if we can take that money. If I got enough stuff to trade for it. Oop, can't afford that. Well, we got 80 right there, so we need another 120. Medicinal plants always sell good. Medical supplies do. But you never want to run completely out of those. So we need a little bit more money. And notice our vegetable and meat stocks are not as high as they were. So we have to be careful now. So, yeah, I don't want to use up. There we go. I want to build those surpluses back up, the excess food. Now, I think once we get enough spares applied here, I feel like I'm prioritizing everything. It's like, okay, everything's important. But I put that on a higher priority. Maybe they'll bring the spares over and get everything in working order. Because look down here, our lab is not producing any meat, and that's part of the problem there too. Not producing much meat. A couple of those meat growers have gone. Only the 2 of them are working. The rest of them are broken. So that tells me we're still lagging behind on metal production. We get this other collector built, we'll be much better shape on the power grid. I think we got that water collector built. So our power grid's in good shape right now. Now we get that, we're going to be even better shape. Water is well ahead of demand at the moment. And oxygen, you know, we're doing okay on oxygen. Now that dorm was finally built. So we can slap some more beds in. We got enough bioplastic to build a few beds. Okay, now I think we got plenty of sleeping space because we've only got 89 colonists, and I've probably got over half that many beds, and not everybody sleeps at the same time. So if you look here, we just built 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can fit 6 bunks per building, and then they're double bunks, so that's 12 beds. And I've got like 3 of those, 12, 36. And then we got a couple of the cabins, which have another few beds in those. Now, we got more people, did we? Let's check the trader. Do we want to buy another bot or do we want some money? Probably can't do both. Let's get another bot. Whoop. Sold too much there. Don't need to... Alright, that was a colonist ship. So we, armed intruder's been detected. Let's see if our people get rid of the armed intruder. Intruder has been killed. With, no... Another armed intruder's detected. Intruder has been killed. Did we lose one of our people, though? I just heard a, I don't like that sound. It doesn't tell me that we lost any of our people. So the guards did their job. Did quite well there. All right. Probably, we haven't really been having a lot of issues with medical. I'll occasionally see people getting treated down here, but we haven't been running, you know, out of bed space. Now, I'm hoping eventually when we get robotics cranking, that maybe we'll make some driller bots, and that will, you know, not as many. Well, there we go, running out of spares again. I know it had been a while since we saw that. Need these biodomes. Need this food production repaired. So let's check the lab where I just looked in. Okay, all the lab stuff has been repaired. Now, half of these vegetable pads have been repaired. Now, these ones down here are dicey. So like I said, I feel like we're prioritizing every building in the darn colony right now. Looks like these guys are bringing spares out to fix stuff. Or maybe bringing out the metal to build this other power collector. Okay, run. So since we had some more people come in, I'm going to take that to mean that we're getting a little more stable there. And the prestige is up to 189. Welfare is still not great, but we're going to like maybe building all these beds. Now that everybody has, we should have a better rested population. Now, what's this guy got that we can use? Wonder how much his commission will be on a driller bot. How much is markup? Hello. We don't have a lot of stuff down here to sell, and I don't want to get rid of what we have, so we're going to pass for now. And we'll dismiss him and catch the next one. We need all of our food stuff to be repaired and growing. And it looks like that's been done. All right. We need 3 more to get that collector built. And what's this guy? Is he bringing a spare to fix something, or is he... So we appear to be at least reasonably stabilized. And we're up to 6 bots now. Which, if we look at our milestones, we need to get 10 bots and we'll hit that milestone. The megalomania and the consolidation will be the last 2 things we hit, probably. Well, obviously, Century will be the next one we hit. So really what we're looking at is get 100 people, acquire 10 techs, which I wonder how many we have now. I know there's a chart for that somewhere. It's not that. Security controls, milestones, techs. Alright, so we have the Goliath turbine, constructor bot, the GM tomato, and the super extractor. So we still have the massive storage, the mega collector, the colossal panel, the farm dome, a driller bot, and a GM onion. The colossal panel is kind of nice. The farm dome is huge, and you can plant a ridiculous amount of food in that, which is kind of nice. So it looks like if we go back and check our stats, you know, we were showing very poor earlier, and now at least we've come up to poor. And I believe I heard a ship come in. So let's check him out. We could buy another bot. We could get our bots up where we need them. Or I could buy 2 carrier bots probably. Let's see about that. And let's add a little bit of this stuff to the cache. Alright. Okay, we're getting, that's 2 more bots. We're up to 8 bots now. So 2 more bots will hit that milestone. And that should make things more efficient because the bots will be able to schlep stuff around a little more. And like I said, free up the people to do whatever else they might want to do. Like, look at this. Some of our tissue synthesizers are gone. So we have to build more. And can I build another one? I can put one there. The workbench is still there. Alright, 2 of the tissue things have disappeared, so we just built 2 more. And hopefully they can get the other ones fixed, because I want to keep food production ahead of the game a bit. Alright, we just got another one of those built. They need to repair the 2 that are broken. And is there much else that's broken down? Not really. And we got that collector built. Now we've got 2, 3, 5 collectors to fill up with power before the sun goes down. And if we can get all those filled up, we should be doing good on the power grid. Let's check it. Yeah, power grid is functional. And let's let this sandstorm blow over. So power grid is looking good. We're ahead on water. Food is holding its own, but we're going to need to start planting more soon. So which means another lab for more meat and more domes to grow more vegetables. And possibly more metal processing, because we're still not getting ahead on metal. So that's still our ever elusive goal is to produce more metal. At least to produce more than we're eating up in making spares. Medical supplies, I think we need to make sure that we still have that workbench in the lab. And you know what? I don't think we do. So, or no. Is this guy at a workbench? I don't think so. I think we're plumb out. So we need to probably take one of these and dismantle that. Now let's build the workbench, but they need to come and take that meat out of there. Come on, come and take the meat. Great, the bot just broke down. That's really peachy. Now, I don't know if they can fix the bot because we don't have the bot workshop. We don't have enough stuff down here to trade. Not for anything. Yeah, this isn't looking so good. Dismiss that guy. All right. Is that guy fixing the bot? Okay, I guess I can fix the bots with spares. All right. Now, I really need to build that workbench because we don't have any ability to make more medical supplies. I don't understand what is... I think if they don't get repaired fast enough, they just disappear. And that's probably what happened to this structure since we didn't have it on a priority. Oh. Well, we lost one of the bots, irreversible damage, and somebody got killed. My guess is that meteor strike probably took them both out. I need to build this other thing, and they don't want to remove this stuff to get it out of my way. Alright. Come and take the last little bit. So they're grabbing more meat out of those instead of taking the meat that's piled up here in the corner. I'm realizing I want to build a workbench and I can't build it because they won't get out of that stuff out of the way. So that's so we're just gonna have to wait on that. Well, another one got removed. So there's what, 2 pieces left. Maybe I'll just wait them out here. You gotta wonder why they keep removing from the devices and not removing the ones that are sitting there on the floor first. But if I dismantle another one of these, it's just gonna do the same thing. It's gonna have the stuff piled up there. So I can't make room to build that bench until they take these 2 last food things out of there. So let's check what the trader has and what we have to trade with. And we really don't have anything I want to part with right now. So send him away. Back here and check our situation in the lab. So they're producing meat and just removing it from the machines, but not taking the meat out that's sitting there. You'd think it would spoil. So I don't know how long that's going to take. So we could sit here all day waiting on that to happen. And it appears that nobody's removing that last bit of stuff. So with that said, everything else is pretty stable. Now we're ready to, I think, start moving toward our goals. At the next time around, we're gonna build more processors, metal processors, and prioritize growing more food, and eventually get that workbench put back down where we can build medical supplies, unless we just build another lab. But I don't have enough metal for that. So how much is a lab? Let's see. So 1 to 2, I could build a larger lab, probably somewhere over here. That's what we'll do. I don't know how long that'll take to get built. So we're building another lab, which we were going to need anyway. And I'll probably put like 2 workbenches in there, because the medical supplies trade for pretty good money. So I'm thinking if we get more of them, if we can start cranking out a surplus of medical supplies, then maybe we can get our money built up a little faster. And because that's the only way to get those patents for those techs, and that's one of the end game goals, is to collect all the tech. Let's see what this dude's got. So as you can see, we're building up medicinal plants. We're starting to build up more food, but I don't feel comfortable trading a lot of that food for money right now. So go ahead and dismiss him again. And we really just have a couple things that we're trying to get done, and that's this other lab. And it looks like they finally... I wonder if I can get a workbench in here. So let's see. No. There's no room for the workbench. So we're gonna have to wait on the little lab to get built. So that's kind of where we are. Things are a little more stable. Just need to get our medical supplies back stockpiled up again. Then we're gonna work on getting this status, getting this welfare up to the next level. Then we'll see the population start to climb. Then we can really ramp up production. You know, now we're running short on spares again. So that's where we are. That's where we're going to call it a day for now. And when we come back, we're going to be working on medical supplies and more metal and trying to get toward that 100 level. So I hope you've enjoyed this video or found it informative or helpful, or at least you've learned from my mistakes. If you have, hit that subscribe button. I would very much appreciate that. And I will see you the next time.